Good morning, everyone, from Halende Campground near Loman, Idaho. Today, we're going to finally get around to a project that I've been putting off because I was waiting on parts, and we tried a different route, which did not work. So we're going to go ahead and do a modification to this. Was originally the gas line that comes through for the propane grill that used to sit right here. You notice the propane grill and the rack is gone now because it fell off about 2 weeks after we bought the camper. Anyway, I removed the gas line that goes over, plugged the manifold, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna run, originally I tried just running the hoses through here for my diesel heater, but because mice are so, whatever you want to call it, they could get through the sides here into the compartment where I run the hose through. So we're going to go ahead and take this off, this gas, whatever you want to call it, take this off, and I'm going to install an upgrade to this, which I hope works and doesn't look too ghetto, but you know, it is what it is. But first I got to take this one off and do some cleanup, so hang on, you guys. So this is the compartment under the dinette seat. We split it in half. The front half I've closed off. We keep it for storage. The back half, because it has the water and the electrical coming through it, we decided not to leave it accessible. Anyway, this is what I'm going to take out. I've covered it so that we didn't have any, anything coming in. I had steel wool in there and all that good stuff. Anyway, that was really not necessary, but I'm going to take that out, open that up, and this is our ducting that goes through here. That's what we use for our diesel heater. We kick it on at 4 o'clock in the morning and it knocks the chill off pretty well. It's quiet, it's dry, so that's the reason, and it's a little bit more efficient than the propane heater. Anyway, let's get moving on this project. Ridiculous amount of silicone on here. It's definitely waterproof. And I'll be back with y'all when this is off. I just want to say I'm not putting this on because there's anything wrong with the furnace that's in the house or in the trailer. It works. But a couple of reasons. I wanted an alternative heat source and a diesel heater. Because of the size of this trailer, this small diesel heater works fantastic. It's very efficient, even though the price of diesel right now is ridiculous, but you know, it is what it is. You're gonna live this life, you gotta expect that kind of stuff. But it's very quiet. In the morning at 4 o'clock when it kicks on, I don't hear it. The one that we have, it's a Sunster. It's a nice diesel heater. I'll show you guys when I get it out here. It's very quiet. It doesn't have the ticking of the fuel pump like a lot of them do. So we don't hear it when it kicks on. We like the efficiency. We like the type of heat. We like the fact that I can program it in the morning to come on whatever time I want it to come on. We usually turn it on at 4 for about, like my plastic razor blades, they suck, but I don't want to scratch the outside of the camper. We usually turn it on at 4 and let it run for about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. Because we're early birds, we get up early. We have it programmed for either 5 or 6 hours, I'm not sure which. But you know, it uses about, I want to say, a quarter to a third of the tank. It's got a 1.2 liter tank on it. And you know, I can always plumb it into the gas can if I want to, but I really don't see any reason to do that. We're starting to come free now. There. Excellent. Love. I did cut this off already on the back side for the diesel heater. Not bad. Need to smooth them out and clean up the silicone. So efficient, quiet, programmable, and variable. I have a different, you set the temperature on the furnace in the house and it kicks on, kicks off, kicks on, kicks off, kicks on, kicks off. And it's never a good constant, comfortable temperature. With this, it stays constant. So there's that too. All right, so the majority of the silicone is off. Clean it up with some mineral spirits and simple green. And I'll show y'all what I got to put on. Anyway, a lot of people are probably saying, why in the world would you do that to that trailer? And it's basically because, one, I like having choices. It's my trailer. I'm not worried about resale. I didn't buy it to resell it. I bought it to live in, to camp in, to travel in and enjoy. And that's what we do. So, you know, there's that. But mostly because I like having options. I mean, if one system fails, I need another one. We don't carry an electric heater because those things are like stupid dangerous in a travel trailer or in any type of RV. Whatever, they draw too much. The wiring in these things is not designed for this, for that. So what I do, I run this diesel heater. I have a direct connection to the battery over here, and it doesn't go through the inverter. Doesn't use the house wiring. I'll show you all the battery connection here in a little bit. I like having options. I like having alternatives. Like I said, it's my trailer. The hole's already in the trailer, so I'm not that concerned about a hole in the trailer. You know, if I had to cut one, I would. It wouldn't be the first time I've done something like that. But like I said, it's my trailer. I didn't buy it for resale. What's up, Chippy? What up, Chippy? We have chipmunks out here like crazy, y'all, and they are not Bruno's friend. So I am gonna have to get a real razor blade out. I already have it over here. Much as I don't like using it. Because where they drilled through earlier, they didn't pre-drill, they just kind of rammed the screws through and left a good lip on there. I think this one's pretty good here. Pre-drill these, they don't do this. You can put a screw in here with some adhesive, but they didn't. So anyway, I think we're gonna call that good. Feels good. And hit it with some simple green. Right here, y'all, I'm gonna show y'all what I'm gonna use. This is a sewer cap, and we're going to put this right here. It will cover this opening, and I've got the bayonet part that goes on here. I've got on the hose that goes to the diesel heater. I'm going to put flashing tape in here to cover up the foam, And then on the inside, I've got a piece that comes out. So this will cover whenever we're traveling water, blah, blah, blah. We'll use that to cover it. So I'm not going to put the rubber band on here. Anyway, it'll be on here like so. And we'll take this off, attach the hose for the diesel heater. It'll bend it to the inside when we're using it. When we're traveling, this will come off, this will go on. Of course, that'll be locked on tighter than that. And we will travel as such. Good deal. Anyway, there's that. Right, so I got aluminum tape, or flashing tape. I call it flashing tape, literally duct tape. Aluminum tape. Anyway, it's going to basically just to keep anything out of the foam between the walls here. I'm going to fumble my way through with about 20 pieces of that or whatever. Make sure it's nice and flat on the outside so that it will seal with no problems. Then I'll show you all the finished product. Hold tight. All right, flashing tape is done. Flashing tape, I call it flashing tape, I don't know what it is. Duct tape, whatever. Anyway, I got her done. I'm gonna add some VHB tape to my bayonet connector. Or whatever you wanna call it, I don't know exactly what it's called, but that's what I'm gonna call it. Found some red RTV, which works fine. It's all sealant, it's all silicone. Now I'm going to attach this, and I will drill it in a little bit. I got to clean this edge up a little bit, I just noticed. And then I'll find my drill. I'll find some drill bits, some screws, blah, blah, blah. I get this attached on the outside so it can be sitting up. I'm contemplating whether to leave it like this or add. I think this will work though. So we're going to do this first. I'm talking about this type of adhesive for sticking it with the screws. I think that'll be fine. All right, I got the edges cleaned up on this. I'll peel some tape and we'll get her stuck on there and see. All right, I found my hardware. I'm going to actually try to go all the way through the wall, do the back and the front, sandwich it. These bolts are plenty long. I don't know when I got them, quite a while ago. Shouldn't be any severe protrusion on the back. My only concern is that when I put the back piece on, that it's going to interfere with this, hopefully not. I left my other one on the truck. It should work. It should work. It should work. All right, I'm gonna stick this on, and then I'm gonna start marking and drilling. We are all the way through, so I don't have to rely on the strength of the fiberglass to hold it. All the way through. I've got nuts for these. Excellent, excellent. So I'm gonna finish drilling these and getting them put in, then I'll be back with you. That's Mrs. C over there, y'all.
I was trying to be quiet.
Her Bruno made it back from their excursion. She's happy we have a dumpster. She made it back just in time too, because I need her help. All right, so we got the outside on. There we go. I will put a small bead of silicone around this. Not near as much as this ghetto shit they got on there, but anyway, I'll put a small bead. This is what it'll look like when we're using the diesel heater. And then I did decide to go ahead and put that on there, and this will be what it'll look like while we're traveling. Anyway, and then, and when it's in use, this is not all hooked up, but when we go to hook it up to the diesel heater, sorry about that crazy camera work there. That out of the way, put that bayonet on. We'll drop it down to the diesel heater, which will be under this table. And easy peasy, nice and squeezy. When we're leaving, all this stuff comes off. Cap goes back on, and away we go. Let's go do some inside work now, y'all. Okay, y'all are probably gonna see way more of the back of my head than you wanna see. But we are working right there. We're gonna get the inside planks put on, so hang tight. All right, so because of the 4 bolts that I've got coming through the wall, which are super secure, I'm gonna turn this like this when I screw it in. So it will be, I won't have to worry about those guys. It looks fine. Nobody's gonna see it anyway. It's in here, out of sight, out of mind. All right, we got that on there. All good. Put it at an angle, or put it on a diamond or on the side, because that way the bolt holes all lined up and didn't match up with anything else, or didn't interfere with anything else. There we go. We're gonna find my hose clamp. All right, hose clamp on. Clamp is on. We had some of this here duct aluminum tape. It's basically just dryer bed duct. That's pretty much all it is. That's really all the parts are that I'm using, except for the one outside, the bayonet fitting for actually the black tank sewer hookup. So anyway, put one more piece under the bottom, and that will be that. And I'll clean up, and I'll show you the diesel heater assemblage. There's that. I'm happy. Looks decent. Doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but nobody's gonna see it anyway. So I mean, I'm gonna leave that open until I test everything. So we'll see y'all outside hooking up the heater. All right, that's our platform that we put our diesel heater on. We have a Sunster. Hang on, I'll grab it. Still got red dirt on it from the desert. This I run straight to the DC, to our plug that we have in the side. I'll show you that in a minute. This is where I like to set it. Set it and forget it, right? Well, find my hose. Where's my hose? Here it is. Hose. Hose clamp. Hang on, I'll get right back with you. Now, back to where we were. We're going to attach this here. All right, this is a new hose, so we're going to elongate. There we go. And off there. Attach. Nice and snuggy. Hose stretched out good. Ooh, that looks good. That looks good, baby. Alright, let me go get some diesel, put in my diesel heater. And see how big a mess I can make. Fuel tank. All right, we are filled and cleaned. After my minute. We can't forget the all-important exhaust tube. Anyway, there's that. All right, on here is where we plug her in. The end goes straight to, I use trolling motor connectors. They work really well. The end just goes straight to the battery. We got DC power, we're good. I got some random little ghetto hooks under here to hang the cord on. But anyway, it's hooked up now. Let's see if it'll fire up. I don't normally do it this way because I usually use my phone, the app on my phone to fire it up. But since I'm using my phone for recording, there's a remote in here and we turn it on. So this is our operation. I don't know what it's going to do right now because it's already warm in the house, but we shall see. It takes it a while to purge and all that stuff after it's been sitting for a little bit. So we'll go through that process. Y'all just hang tight. Okay, that's the pump priming. Should be getting ready to fire up pretty soon. There we go. There's our morning jet engine. Still trying to get fuel. Sounds good now. It'll quiet down. There we go. Good. Smells wonderful out here when it first fires up, but that's just life. This is our vent. We have nice toasty air. Not that we need toasty air right now, but that's it, y'all. Thanks for joining us. Bye. Bye, Mrs. C. Bye, Bruno. He's chasing chippies, y'all.